C programming language is one of the oldest and most widely used programming languages in the world. The first version of C was created by Dennis Ritchie at Bell Labs in 1972. The primary purpose of creating this language was to develop the Unix operating system. Since then, it has grown to become one of the most popular languages in the world. C is a general-purpose language that is used for a variety of applications, including systems programming, game development, embedded programming, and high-performance computing. Some well-known software that is written in C include the Linux kernel, the firmware for your Wi-Fi router, certain smart TV applications, and many more. Now, why do we want to learn this ancient language? Well, there are several compelling reasons to learn it. First, it's relatively easy to learn if you're a beginner programmer. Second, it's very fast and efficient, which means that the programs that you write will run quickly on your computer. Third, there are a lot of job opportunities for C programmers. In fact, most of the job openings for programmers require knowledge of C, and finally, it's a great stepping stone to other more complex languages like C++. In this video, I will show you how to install C on Windows, Visual Studio Code as our IDE, and GCC as our compiler. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is download and install the C compiler. We'll start with the website. Click on Downloads from the top menu and scroll down just a little bit until you see the table labeled as Downloads for Windows. Click on the Ming 32-bit installer and save it on your computer. Once it finishes downloading, locate the file and double-click on it to start the installation process. Make sure to check Install a specific version and select Latest, then click on Continue. Next, make sure to check Add Ming to System Path and click on Continue. And finally, click on Finish. Next, we need to download Visual Studio Code. Open up your web browser and go to the official website. Locate and click on the Download for Windows button. Once it finishes downloading, locate the file and double-click on it to start the installation process. You don't have to change any settings, just click on Install and wait for it to finish. When it asks you to relaunch Visual Studio Code, click on Yes. Now that we've installed the compiler and an IDE, let's try out our first program. From the top menu, click on File and then New Window. This will create a new empty file. Copy this code and paste it into the file. Save the file and close the window. Don't forget to change the extension from .txt to .c if you open up the file again. You'll notice that the text has turned into code. That's because we told Visual Studio Code to open this file using the C language syntax highlighting. From the top menu, click on View and then click on Command Palette. Type C and then press Enter. This will bring up a list of all the available commands. Look for C, select a C compiler, and then click on it. A new window will pop up asking us to select our C compiler. From the drop-down menu, select New C Compiler. This tells Visual Studio Code where the C compiler is located on our computer. The next step is to open the terminal. From the top menu, click on View and then Terminal. To create a new terminal, click on the icon or press Ctrl+. A new window will pop up with a blinking cursor. If you type something in this window and press Enter, it will execute the command that you typed. For example, if I type POUTD, which stands for Print Working Directory, it will show me the current folder that I'm in. Now we're going to use the terminal to compile our code. To compile our code, we have to type a command followed by the name of the source file. For example, if I type GCC and then press space, it will show me all the different options that are available. The option we want to use is O, which stands for output. This option takes two arguments. The first argument is the name of the output file. In this case, we're going to call it my program. And the second argument is the name of the input file. In this case, we're going to call it hello, C. Let's type the full command and press enter. We should see the output file being created. If you look back at the Explorer, you'll notice that the Hello C file has been replaced by a file called MyProgram. This is the compiled version of our code. Now we can run our program from the terminal by typing MyProgram and pressing enter. As you can see, it says Hello World. Now you might be wondering what exactly is the difference between compiling and running. Well, compiling is the process of converting source code into machine code. Machine code is a language that the computer understands. So before we can run our code, we have to compile it first. Running is when the machine code is actually executed by the computer. So in short, we have to compile our code before we can run it. Congratulations! You've just learned how to compile and run your first C program. Now that we know how to create a simple program, let's learn about variables and data types. A variable is a named location that can be used to store and manipulate data. Every program needs at least one variable. Here's a program that declares 3 variables and assigns them values. Let's save it, compile it, and run it. If you look at the output, you'll notice that we get a bunch of errors. The reason we're getting these errors is because we didn't declare the variables. In C, we have to declare a variable before we can use it. The general format for declaring a variable is data type variable name. So let's fix this error and add the line index, Y, Z. Now, if we save this file, compile it, and run it, we won't get any errors and it will work just fine. Now let's talk about data types. There are several built-in data types in C, such as integers, floats, and characters. Each data type has a different range of values that it can hold. For example, an integer can hold whole numbers such as 1, 2, and 3. A float can hold decimal numbers such as 1.2, 3.4, and so on. And finally, a character can hold a single character such as a B or C. Let's take a look at some more examples. Here is a program that declares a variable of type char and assigns it the value of a. Let's save it, compile it, and run it. As you can see, it prints out the character. Now let's change the value of a to Hello World. Save the file, compile it, and run it. You'll notice that it gives us an error message. The reason for this is because we're trying to assign a string to a character variable. A string is a sequence of characters, and a character variable can only hold a single character. Instead, we need to use a string variable. To fix this error, we need to add another line that declares a string variable. Now, if we save this file, compile it, and run it, we won't get any errors. And it will print out Hello World. In C, we use the stdio header file to input and output data. The main function is the entry point of every program. When we run our program, the code inside the main function will be executed. The int before the word main indicates that the main function returns an integer value. The curly braces contain the code that will be executed when we run the program. And finally, the semicolon at the end of each line indicates the end of the statement. Let's take a look at another example. Here's a program that declares an integer variable, assigns it the value of 5, and then prints it to the console. Let's save this file, compile it, and run it. As you can see, it prints out the number 5, and that's it. My name is Peter, CEO iCitify Tech. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing.